Been fishing for 15 years now. I was relatively new at the commercial crab fishing industry, and I had hired a vessel to shuttle my gear out. We had just over 100 pots on his boat, and we were headed out. As we were crossing the bar, I recognized that the swells were really steep and sharp, meaning there wasn't a whole lot of distance in between them. And when you went up one side and dropped down the other side, you can tell how sharp they are because the boat wants to drop. So I knew as soon as we turned north to get into the trough, we were going to be having some real lisping of the vessel. So I immediately put on my life vest.
Started out, we knew it was going to be a kind of a nasty ocean, and we got on the bar and the load was shifting a little bit, and he went and put his life jacket on and I didn't.
We started setting gear, and our gear again was stacked 6 high on the deck, and we were on a top pod on the second stack when the boat took a hard lisp. Rocky was on the uphill side, and I actually walked backwards right to the rail, and I couldn't stop myself, and I went right on over.
The weight of everything just pretty much pulled me. I had no control over the pot. The next thing I know, he's going over with the pot, and I had my one hand on the crab pot, and I held it for 5 seconds just so it wouldn't go down on top of him. And then I released, and as soon as I released, I ran into the house yelling, "Man overboard."
When I went overboard, I was sinking like a rock. I didn't think I was gonna go back up to the surface. I had made peace with it. It was really peaceful and quiet. The only thing I could hear was a little bit of bubbling in my ears from the water. I had my eyes open. I could see the horizon up above me. I thought I was a goner.
When he went over, the first thing that went through my mind was to get him back onto the boat. I never think bad things, but I was worried. I mean, it was my dad going over with a crab pot, and you hear all these stories of everybody that goes in the water, not many of them make it back on.
I absolutely thought I was a goner. And then out of nowhere, my life vest went into action, and it just like floated me right up to the surface as fast as it could. And I'm like, this is amazing that it took over. And when I got to the surface, to hear those words, "man overboard," I knew I had a chance. As I was watching the boat travel at 6 knots straight away from me, I realized that there wasn't any chance of catching it swimming, so I went into the fetal position to try to keep my warmth. As I watched them turn around, I was then concerned how I was gonna get onto this boat and how they were gonna get me.
I went to get the life ring, and we had crab gear stacked up, and we couldn't get to it. He was asking for us to throw the life ring, and I couldn't get to it, so he grabbed a hold of the stabilizer rope and was able to pull himself over, and then we were able to pull him on to the boat, which wasn't easy either.
The guys were able to get me out of the water within 4 or 5 minutes. By the time I got undressed, got in the deck house, warmed up, got the clothes on, it probably was less than 15 minutes. The Coast Guard had put on a course through AMC, which taught us safety drills, fire, flooding, man overboard, and abandoned ship. And we utilized that training in this accident. Without the training, I'm afraid my deckhand may have froze up and not known to holler "man overboard." And it was just rough enough and choppy enough. If they would have got much further away from me, they probably wouldn't have been able to find me. Without the flotation device, I'm pretty sure, I can almost say I'm positive I would have been a goner. I felt like I was a goner, and then my life vest actually saved me.
It scared me. It really did scare me to see my dad bobbing back up and down in the ocean back there behind the boat. I look back at the day, and I didn't want anybody to go in the water, but at the same time, I'm glad my dad went into the water instead of me, because I had no life jacket on, and the conditions of the weather and everything, I probably would not have made it back onto the boat that day.
Here we go. We work in an environment, if you go in the water, there's a chance you won't get back out. So we don't go in the water, and if you do, you better have a flotation device on, or you may not get back out. The life jacket you will wear is the good life jacket for you.